And joining me now is our newsmaker today, author, columnist Shobhaa joins me from Mumbai. Appreciate your joining us, Shobhaa. The sense I'm getting is that you're rather relishing, you're itching for a fight, spoiling for a fight with the Shiv Sena. Because earlier today you tweeted, another morcha coming up at 4 p.m. Wonder what tea time snack they will bring with them. You seem to be itching for a fight with the Shiv Sena.
Not at all, Rajdeep. Who would want to get into a fight with those guys? I'm not interested in fighting with anybody. One can only deal with situations of this kind with black humor. I mean, that is my only defense as a citizen. What else can I do? Am I going to go down and indulge in a sort of fist fight with these people? No, I'm not. The only kind of means left to ordinary citizens to register their protests, the only civilized means, is what I've resorted to. I've made a joke out of the vada pav, dahi misal platters and platters that they've been sending up, which also they've threatened to stuff down my mouth, by the way. Not just offer them to me in a polite way, but actually make sure they stuff it down my mouth and see my reaction.
I'll come to the vada pav.
I guess I deprived them of that particular thrill.
I'll come back to the vada pav in a moment, but Shiv Sena's Sanjay Raut said in reference to, of course, your comments on Marathi cinema, आपको मराठी सिनेमा मराठी कल्चर से इतनी नफरत है तो आप यहाँ रहते क्यों हैं? If you hate Marathi culture so much, why don't you leave Mumbai? What do you want to say to him?
He is no one to tell me which city of India or anywhere in the world that I choose to live in. I choose to live in Mumbai because I am a Mumbaikar, and that's it. They can probably learn to live with me in this city because this is my city. And he can say what he wants. Actually, I just think I take most of what these people say with a fistful of salt, because when they're talking about my not being appreciative of Maharashtrian culture, I'd like to ask him whether Samna, when Samna has attacked me this morning using language which is offensive, insulting, and it's just shocking that they would use language like that against anybody. Leave aside a woman, and a Maharashtrian woman at that. I wouldn't use it. I just wouldn't use it, period. Is that Maharashtrian culture? Is that the Maharashtrian culture he's referring to? In which case, I think my kind of culture is any day more acceptable.
Yesterday on my program, a Shiv Sena spokeswoman said that how many Marathi films has Shobhaa watched for her to stand up and talk about Marathi cinema? How do you respond to this? It seems almost as if the Shiv Sena believes it has a monopoly over who is Maharashtrian.
Well, they would like to appropriate the identity of every Maharashtrian. They would like to appropriate Maharashtrian-ness, Maharashtrian culture. Well, I'm not going to let that happen. I don't have to wear my Maharashtrian identity on my sleeve or wave a flag about it. I don't have to prove to them how many films I've watched. All I can say is that I have, in tweets, mind you, recommended 2 Marathi films as India's entries to the Oscars rather than the Bollywood pot boilers we were sending at the time. And as far as my support of the Maharashtrian film industry is concerned, I've watched Maharashtrian films since I was a child. They have great actors, great directors, great subjects. So I don't need to keep asserting my Maharashtrian identity in the eyes of the Shiv Sena or anybody else for that matter. I know what it means to me, and for me that is enough.
But what is wrong if Marathi films are shown in prime time? Shouldn't they be shown in prime time in Mumbai? Shouldn't regional cinema be promoted? That's the objection that many people who are supporting the decision of the Maharashtra government are making, that multiplexes were showing Marathi cinema at 8 a.m. Why not show it at prime time?
Well, right now, Rajdeep, you may or may not be aware, but they've just backtracked on that and changed the definition of prime time. It was not about whether they should or should not be shown at prime time. That was not what I tweeted about or objected to. I was talking about a certain dictatorial process which did not indulge in any kind of a meaningful dialogue, conversation with the actual stakeholders, multiplex owners, the film industry itself, whether it's Bollywood or the Marathi film industry, that it was just announced as a fait accompli when it should have been a more consultative process. My only objection was to that. Of course, they need to support the regional. They need to support the Marathi film industry. It needs that kind of support, but we need meaningful support. This, according to me, is not particularly meaningful or constructive. If they're serious, why don't they announce a next plan, maybe for the next 5 years? Maybe they can start something, a fund for Maharashtrian artists, a lot of whom are retired, are living in penury. Maybe they can incentivize the movie industry. But just by saying, insisting that prime time viewing in one theatre should be reserved for Marathi films seemed to be a little unreasonable.
You know, the fact is Devendra Diktatwala Fadnavis is at it again. From beef to movies, this is not the Maharashtra we all love. Nako nako, ye sab roko. I'm presuming therefore that you as a Mumbaikar believe that the government is intervening in your culinary habits by deciding you can't have a steak, is now deciding what film in what language you will watch. Is that what is troubling you as a Mumbaikar? That in some way this is eroding Mumbai's bindas culture?
It's not about bindas culture, but bindas is a very, very frivolous word. I wouldn't use it. I would say it's a multicultural, very cosmopolitan, multilingual city, and it should remain that way. I mean, that is the character of Mumbai, has always been. So any attempts to inhibit that identity is an attempt that I don't think is going to succeed in the long run. Today they're going to tell us what we can eat. Tomorrow they'll tell us how we can dress, where we should go, what we should think. I just believe that these kind of very arbitrary rules that are suddenly thrown on the city without any process of any consensus is not the way for any democratically elected government to function.
The flip side is that Shobhaa is using this as a publicity gimmick. Let me put it this way. When you said, for example, in a cinema theatre, popcorn now will be replaced by vada pav and dahi misal. There are those who are saying this was a loose comment. This is a comment which in some ways is seen to denigrate Maharashtrian culture. You're trying to ridicule Maharashtrian culture by bringing in vada pav and dahi misal and contrasting it with popcorn. Was that ever an intention? On Twitter, is there a tendency to ridicule something, and then was it a publicity gimmick?
Not at all. I do not need publicity. If at all, it's the Shiv Sena that's deriving incredible mileage out of this. It was not intended for that. There are other ways to get publicity. My Twitter account, as my followers know, has always been laced with a bit of humor, a bit of satire, a bit of tongue-in-cheek digs here and there. Dahi misal and vada pav, for heaven's sake, these are snacks one has grown up eating and enjoying. But I mean, to make that the centerpiece of a controversy and to send protests is, I think, a little too OTT. By all means, have dahi misal. At Inox, they've introduced bhel, they have pizzas, they've got samosas. So does it mean that only Punjabi viewing audiences are entitled to eat those samosas, or why are they? And is there some sort of politics behind the snacks being served at multiplexes suddenly? I don't think so. It was a light-hearted comment. We were talking about popcorn. Popcorn is what one associates with a multiplex.
Do you believe some will say there's no place to be light-hearted?
I have no.
Shobhaa, there's no place to. Some will say there's no place for satire.
Comment.
No place increasingly for satire in the kind of politics that prevails in Mumbai, in a city like Mumbai.
Well, that's a very sad statement to make about Mumbai, about Maharashtra, about India. There is always room for satire. There's always room for laughter. There's always room for humor. Because without that, the realities of our life are so grim. If we can't laugh them off, then we're all going to turn into a complete psychological mess. We're going to live in fear. We're going to be constantly thinking about what if my next utterance is going to lead to protests and worse. And this attempt to just crush any kind of expression which doesn't conform to what a political party believes is right is what I'm really fighting for. It's not about myself at all. I'm just an ordinary citizen. I'm a nobody. I'm a Mumbaiker.
You're not a nobody. You're not a nobody. You're not an ordinary citizen.
As far as any Mumbaiker.
You're not ordinary. You're not.
Yes, I am. Rajdeep, no matter what you may think, I mean, I'm speaking on behalf of all Mumbaikars. It can happen to me today. It can happen to anybody tomorrow who says something which is in a lighter vein. And if it's taken as a personal insult and an insult to some sort of a cultural identity, which is, it just beats me how it can be twisted into something
do you have any
so
regrets?
grim when it was not meant like that.
Do you have any regrets, therefore? Do you have any regrets
not
at all?
Not in the least. I think...
You'll say it again?
No regrets at all. There was no insult ever. No, it's not about saying it again. I'm not there like a childish teenage brat who's trying to test the limits of political parties' levels of tolerance or intolerance. This is what I said. This is what I stand for myself. I speak for myself, and I'll continue to do so.
I remember that in the past there was another similar incident when you spoke about Mumbai and statehood and objected to that, and then you had Raj Thackeray and his people coming to your door and the Shiv Sena coming to your door. Do you believe that in some way the character of Mumbai, and this is my final question really, has the character of Mumbai changed, Shobhaa, from the time that you grew up in Mumbai to the Mumbai that I grew up in, which was a city which, relished the idea of freedom of expression, but now the Shiv Sena has over the years created a culture of intolerance and intimidation. Has Mumbai changed?
That Mumbai has changed, and it changed after 1993. There is no question in my mind that it's changed. I hope it's not, it hasn't changed irrevocably. That's my only kind of dream for this city, that we need to reclaim the Mumbai that we all loved and knew. We need to reclaim our freedoms. And the minute we start surrendering them, millimeter by millimeter, we are going to be in a lot of trouble. And by we, I don't mean South Mumbai people. I mean every single Mumbaikar. Because our freedoms are precious, and we should recognize it for that, and we should not allow any political party to try and crush us and to crush the spirit which has made Mumbai one of the greatest cities in the world.
But the feeling is that over the years a lot of celebrities in Mumbai have always patched up with the Shiv Sena. The moment the Shiv Sena comes to the doorstep of a celebrity, be it in the past a Dilip Kumar or a Sunil Dutt and now Shobhaa, eventually you'll kiss and make up, and that explains why the Shiv Sena rules Mumbai. No one really wants to look the Shiv Sena in an eye beyond the point.
Rajdeep, I'm looking them in the eye right now on your program. I'm not about to blink. Let's see who blinks first. This is not a confrontation. It's not pleasant for anybody. But I'm not a part of the film industry. I don't belong to any lobby. I have no axe to grind. I have nothing to gain or lose.
You're a friend of Raj Thackeray and Uddhav Thackeray.
Shiv Sena or fighting with the Shiv Sena.
Aren't you a friend of Raj and Uddhav Thackeray?
There are no friendships. There are no friendships in politics and in the movie business. And I will repeat that. There are no friendships in politics. So there's no question of being friendly or unfriendly with any of them. I know them as I know a lot of other people, and as they, I'm sure, acknowledge a lot of other people in public places.
And finally,
that's about it. I'm not looking for favors from anybody. And I certainly am not going to, patch up for whatever this is worth. It's not my job to initiate a patch up. In the film industry, they have a lot at stake. I have nothing at stake but my freedom, and that matters to me more than anything else.
Are you going to have vada pav and dahi misal for tea?
Why not? I mean, I've had it in the past and enjoyed it and relished it in the past. Why should I not have it today? Maybe I should celebrate, and let's see where that takes me. I'm completely optimistic, completely gung-ho, and very, very thankful to the Mumbai police for having stood by at a time which it could have turned very ugly.
Okay. Shobhaa, I appreciate your joining us and giving us your perspective, and stay safe and enjoy the vada pav and misal as well. Thank you very much.